look like in some areas it might be over existing roadways with especially the loop road as it goes around. With that loop road, that's actually wide enough now, and with the exception of a few minor pinch points, it's actually wide enough now to accommodate a lane of traffic in each direction, plus providing something for pedestrians and bicyclists. And so that's something that can be done fairly easily. And of course, wanting to have that upgraded to not just be some striping out there that changes it, but wanting to have some of those upgrades. So it would still function with having vehicles through the area, with having pedestrians and bicycles and that recreational type of facility on the edge of it. Every day that we've been here and come out here and driven around this parking lot, we see people using that existing loop road exactly for that. They're walking, we've seen bicyclists out there as well, people walking and running every single day. And so definitely there is the desire line for it and people desiring to do that. And so this would just be providing that facility. As far as when it starts, that is a wonderful question. And what I can speak to is that this plan report will be completed at the end of February. There are a lot of steps and a lot of work to still be done before you see a shovel in the ground out here. A lot of conversation about partnerships, continuing conversations with the owners, continuing to look at even from a design side, so even coming out to do infrastructure improvements on the parking lot still requires a design and construction plans and a lot of those components to it. So the when it starts, unfortunately, we don't have a set date on that. There's still a lot of moving parts and a lot of continued conversations to be had, but there is a lot of commitment already with the amount of money that's already been allocated for this process and a lot of things to continue to move forward with. Thank you.
Thank you. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Reverend Bethia for hosting this meeting, and using her building for all the meetings. And I will pretty much just have, because I know everybody has comments, I don't know how long they're going to continue to have comments, but I have one in particular. I know they talked about the Baltimore County bought the Sears building, if I'm not mistaken, for $10 million. Of course, with hopefully taxpayers' money too, I guess. But anyway, any decisions on that, or what they plan on doing with that building, or housing anything in that building? Because I know they were talking about demolition on some parts of the mall, but I know they're going to keep that serious because they put that money in it. So, anything they're going to do with that down the road, or with that building? Just curious.
I think that's a key question, and I think hopefully from the presentation tonight you could see multiple potential scenarios for the property the county owns. County owns 18 acres, which includes the Sears building. We have at least a 2 or 3 step process. One is, in the short term, how is our 18 acres going to be activated? And then in the long term, and whether the building's going to be used or demolished. And then the long term is, how does it play out with the various scenarios that have actually been shown tonight. You could see in a number of the opportunities, there's a lot of open space or green space, but there's also other buildings that were being constructed. So the county has moved fairly quickly to purchase the property, and now has been working in tandem not only with the community but with the design team to get to our position tonight. So our next step really is now to sort of double down on how we're going to actually make that come to life. And I really appreciate Jennifer and Amber's laying out, and Will's laying out all these different options that really we are now still working through. We did have a good conversation with the county executive on Friday afternoon about some of these options, and so our next step really is seeing how the final report comes out.
All right, we have time for about one more question, if there is any. Otherwise, I will have us wrap up for the evening.
So just to piggyback on the young lady's question about the stores, who is, or what agency, or how do you field those questions about the type of stores? Because that is a major concern. The major department stores are gone, and the stores inside are, you know, in comparison to other malls like Columbia and Towson, they have name brand stores. And I mean, I appreciate the ones that stayed, but I think that's something that's desirable in this area. Who do you go to get those answers?
So at this time, Amber, if you'd like to take this, I heard her like stepping up.
I'm ready. I love this question. No, it's a really, really good question because ultimately, you know, we are not the property owners, and they ultimately are the ones who, you know, would recruit the retail, would find the retail, and that's, you know, part of why I think, you know, the existing mix is here today, because there's, you know, just certain tenants that either have been here or that kind of gravitate towards this type of environment. And so that's sort of the key linchpin in this, is how do you create the right environment to attract the kind of retail you want to see. So that's why we're talking about things like the walkable streets, street level activity, ground floor retail with mixed use, providing residential units above ground floor retail is really attractive to certain retailers, like the ones you might see in, say, Harbor East in downtown Baltimore, or even in Columbia. Their new developments, the Warfield neighborhood, have ground floor retail. There's a couple examples in our presentation that were images of that. And so it's really taking that model. We heard so many times from community members that they don't go to Columbia to do their shopping. And one of the things that Columbia has done has embraced this model of the town center. And you all have seen it. If you've been there, you've seen them start to transition their mall to turn it more outside. And you see the types of retail that's now going there, that's now anchoring there. You see the movie theater, you see restaurants, you see outdoor dining. So that's what we're trying to unlock, is how do you create that environment? Because if you create that environment, then the right retail will come. You're not going to get ground floor. I'm not even going to say one, because I don't want to light a fire, and I could be wrong. But there are certain types of retail that really gravitate towards those types of experiences, and that's what we're trying to do, is really elevate the site, elevate the neighborhood, bring some density, bring people. Retail follows rooftops. It's a fun kind of real estate lingo for anyone who hasn't heard that before. So we need to bring people here, and then the right retail will come.
Thank you so much, and thank you again, everybody. We will wrap up for,
I just wanted to thank you and the entire team. This has been a wonderful process, and it has been a joy to have you here. And to answer your question, I am trying to get a Dillard's here. You all familiar with Dillard's? Yes, ma'am. I'm tired of flying to Raleigh to go to Dillard. I'm so serious. So the county executive and I have been talking about Dillard's. And I don't go away, so we're working on that.
great. Thank you so much, and thank you for the use of this wonderful space. So again, thank you for the use of this space. Thank you for everybody who came out this evening and for the great questions. For everybody who is joining us online through the streaming opportunities, we appreciate that you have taken the time out of your evening to listen in and to be a part of this amazing process. As we've mentioned several times, while this is the conclusion of the closing session of the Design Charrette process, it is just the beginning of the work and the conversation. So at this time, to officially close us out for the evening, I will turn it back to Kirk, and we look forward to your continued involvement in seeking information on the website, having questions answered through the email address.
Thank you so much. Please join me. Let's give a hand to our guests for just having such a dynamic and enthusiastic presentation. It's just been amazing. And I can attest to what Pastor Bethea said. She don't go away. Trust me, I know. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's such an exciting time. There's been a lot of conversation about what can happen, what can be, what's coming. But it's really going to be up to us to continue as community members to stay engaged, stay at the site, contribute more information if you can, go different places, come back with different ideas. I said when we launched that the train has left the station and you guys are really leading it. It's really true. It's really true. So we're so excited about what the potential can be on this site. Thank you so much to our elected officials for coming out tonight. Thank you so much from everyone that's streaming at home, and we're looking forward to staying engaged with you from the community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, forgive me, hold on. Madam Speaker, did you want to close us out for the evening? Yes, ma'am. She's talked enough. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.